looking for more reassurance, purpose and satisfaction in their jobs than ever before. So how do we build confidence, stay motivated and make sure we still feel recognised in the workforce? For more, we are joined by life coach and author Jess Stuart. Good morning, Jess. Lovely to have you back. What if you've got a manager who just says, I've got an emotional bandwidth deficit, I'm not there, I can't give you what you need at the moment?
This is quite common. I think many of us are operating with such deficit at the moment with everything that's going on, and leading is hard in our workplace. But there's this thing that we're talking more and more about at work around mattering, particularly in the face of AI, hybrid working. And there's a lot of us that feel like we don't matter, or that our work no longer gets recognised in the same way. And that's having these knock-on effects that does impact our engagement.
Right, so who's this falling on? Is it up to the managers who actually need to be the ones holding space for their employees, or is it up to the worker to actually go to them and say, look, I need you to help me out here?
Yes, well, I think in our workplaces we have put a lot of value on output. So a lot of the time the way we feel valued is by how hard we work and what we produce, rather than actually the connection points with hybrid working and AI automation. We're losing a lot of that relating. So do I matter as a person? Am I seen? Am I valued? Do I make a difference? And I think that's really hard to do by yourself. You can focus on output and working hard and doing a good job, but if that's not recognised, we have this feeling like we don't really matter. So then that falls on our managers and bosses and people around us and our workplaces to make sure that there is that recognition and that value and that connection, really, of human to human.
So does that output have to be almost a little bit more of a holistic output when you're looking at it?
Yes, definitely. So the output and the relating. So it's the work that we do and the human behind the work, which often is what we forget. Because if we're only measuring output, that's a recipe for burnout risk, because we're constantly trying to over-deliver to prove that we matter, rather than being seen and valued for who we are and what we bring, and understanding the impact of that work. Then that equates to us mattering more. And what we get with that is, yes, an uplift in performance, but also engagement and mental health outcomes improve. So it's better for everyone, not just the individual, when we all matter at work.
If you had to hazard a guess, across industries, how much of the workforce would actually be feeling anxious, do you think, about these things with AI and automation, and actually feeling like they matter at work?
Yeah, most of us. And the statistics also say that we're getting lonelier at work. So 1 in 5 of us are lonely at work as well. And that's not just about hybrid work.
Having mates in the office, or is that come down to it, or is it more about feeling a little bit?
It's kind of a bit of both. So it's not just about I'm surrounded by people. It's about being seen and valued, and that I matter. So we can be surrounded by people, but if we're not recognised and we're not valued, then we can feel quite alone, and that's something that's increased in the workplace.
Someone said that managers have got enough on their plate, though. They are also feeling it tough too. Why should it be up to them to come up with some sort of fulfilment strategy?
Yeah, 100%. Managing is really hard, particularly in this day and age, and particularly in this current climate. So we often look to our workplace structures, policies, processes, and managers are employees too, right? So they need to matter in exactly the same way that their staff do.
Okay, so what's the answer going forward here? What is the simple step that a workplace could take today to try to solve these problems?
Yeah, look, I don't know if I've got the answer, to be honest. I think there are some, as an individual, there are some red flags around this. You know, if you don't feel recognised, if you don't understand how your work impacts to the organisation's bigger picture, or how you make an impact, these are the red flags. But in terms of what you do about it, I think when we look at what we're facing into with the AI evolution, the work-life balance conundrum, the rise of burnout, it's a tough place to be right now in the workplace.
Friday drinks, I reckon. That's the answer, isn't it? Get everyone together, hash it out over a couple of cold ones. Yeah, any day, any and why. Jess Stuart, thank you so much for joining us, as always.